G'day everybody, it's Matt Dawn. Get your lawn on. Today's video, we're reviewing the Allett 17H. Get your lawn on. With the cartridge. So I'm going to talk about in this video what I liked, what I didn't like, and I think could be improved, and just give you a general idea of who this mower is really suited for. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like the video if you like it and subscribe, it helps me grow. Thank you very much. Okay, quick disclaimer. This mower, I bought all the cartridges. I got it from ADE Turf. They're the ones that are the suppliers of the Allett mowers in Australia. And the reason I wanted to get it is because I've used a cartridge mower before and I really wanted to see how this compared. First impressions, very, very good. It's very well made and it does an excellent job. It is a cartridge mower. It's powered by a beautiful Honda engine. It'll do 6mm up to 28mm. It's nice and easy to micro adjust, so you can get anywhere in between those levels. When you start getting into cylinder mowing lawns, it's not just about the cylinder mower cut, it's about the thatch underneath and how you're going to manage that. This has a lot of cartridges that will help you manage that thatch. With the nice low cuts, you don't want that thatch coming through and making it look all ugly. I'll go through the features of the mower front to back. Let's go. The Allett Kensington 17H, 17 because it's a 17-inch, H because it's a Honda mower. First things first is you get a plastic, very durable catcher. And the cool thing about that is, you know, you whack into things, it's not going to dent, it's going to be durable, it's going to last. Fantastic catcher. We've got a solid front roller here. Behind that, and it's a little bit hard to see, we've got a rake, which will rake and pull the grass up and make it ready for the cut. At the moment, we've got a 12-blade cartridge in there. Honda engine, and this is the same engine that's on my commercial mower. So it's the GX 120. Adjustable handle. I've got that adjusted to the highest point because I'm a tall person. I just want you to take note of this little thing here. This is our little indicator of our height. So you can go down to short, which is 6mm, and right up to 28mm, and that's indicated, I think, with the number 4. Up, 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 3, 4. So it'll go quite high. Upper end of Kikuyu, should you want to go that high. And buffalo. She's also got a split rear roller. That might be a bit hard to see in the sun. The shade, should I say. And the real cool thing about this is that it's solid. It's not a hollow roller, it's not a plastic roller, it's solid. And it really makes the weight of the mower to the bottom of the mower, which is where it should be. And that'll be fantastic for striping. And we've got some controls up here. First off, to start the mower, you'll obviously pull the ripcord. We'll go through that in a minute. This is your throttle here, so you've got your turtle. So turtle for slow, rabbit for fast. That's your throttle there when you need it. The Allett has a beautiful safety mechanism for controlling the reel. This is the lever that controls the reel. Pulling that up won't do anything unless you put that in and then pull it up. So I only did that just to show it off for the camera a bit easier, but you just put your finger forward to get it and then you pull it up. So if you pull that up just by itself, you'll notice it won't go down. It's not connected to the cable. So that and that will engage the reel. So the other lever here controls the drive, controls the roller, which drives the mower forward. Okay, the great thing about the Allett Kensington is that it's got cartridges for things like verticutting and scarifying and doing things for your lawn that is beyond just using a cylinder mower. The reason mostly is because of thatch control. If we're cutting at a low height, we want to keep that thatch to a minimum. At the moment, I've got the 12 cylinder cartridge. Lots of cuts at a low level, makes a very, very fine cut. When you hit the sort of like the 10mm range of your mowing and down is when you would use the 12 blade. When you're cutting at higher heights, like 15 mil and up, you'd use the 6-blade. Cartridges, and I'll show you this in a minute, they just slip in. This gear will connect to the drive, a couple of screws, bolted in. I'll go through that a little bit later. This is the Scarifying cartridge. There are all these little fingers which will come along and just grab at the thatch and pull it up and leave the green stuff on the top. If you are in the market for one of these mowers, these are just a little bit over $2,000, which is a fantastic price. And the cartridges are ranging about $300 to $500, depending on what you're getting. This one here would be the cartridge that if you could only afford one extra cartridge apart from your cutting blade, this would be the one that you would get, because this does a lovely job at pulling up the thatch. Okay, the next one that you would look at is verticutting. So why is vertical cutting important? Well, there's times that we really need to thin out our lawn. It gets a little bit too thick. There's times when the runners start crossing over each other. We want to control them and not let them sort of like grain the lawn a bit. If you've got stolons going all sorts of different directions everywhere, the lawn will become a bit uneven. It'll also get a bit thicker and it'll be a bit harder to cut a low level. But also what this does when you're thinning it out, it'll drag up probably about twice as much thatch as the Scarifying cartridge. And it'll also cut into the crown of the plant some new cuts which will promote it to thicken up again. So the whole idea about verticutting is just getting a nice uniform condition and texture to the whole lawn, which is just amazing. This here is a brush, and what this is useful for is picking up debris on the lawn. Also useful for flattening out your top dress and just getting it nice and level and even. There's also a dethatcher cartridge, which is like a Scott Bonner sort of like 46 style Scarifying cartridge, which is something that you use for renovations. I didn't buy that because I've got a Scarifying. There's also an aerator cartridge. It doesn't connect to the drive at all. You just push it along and it'll put little slits in your lawn. I haven't got that either because I tend to use my Real Solutions aerator corer and just core that way and fill up the core holes with top dress. Yeah, that's I think that's 4 out of the 7 cartridges that I've got. Well, 5 out of the 7 cartridges that I've got. So let's give it a mow. Thanks, baby. So the fuel's on, choke on. Excellent, one pull. So that's brought up quite a bit, and the stripe game's there, I can see that. Nice and fine. Beautiful. Let's do a double cut. That has left a beautiful cut. Good stripe game. Some of the cutting that we've done has exposed a bit of thatch underneath. It's got a bit of a thatch thing happening there under his turf. So if you go like that, we need to manage that. Manage this stuff a bit. So that's the whole thing about cylinder mowing. There's more to cylinder mowing than just cylinder mowing. Because if you don't manage your thatch and it gets too thick, water, air and nutrients won't be able to get to the ground and it'll be not great for the lawn. So let's change the cartridge and have a bit of fun, because that's where this system really excels. If there's one cartridge that you're going to buy, you have to get this one, the Scarifying cartridge. That will pull out the thatch, and this will give me a good opportunity to show you how the cartridges change. But my suggestion would be you have the engine off and you just turn your fuel off as well. You'll need to remove this. You'll have 4 bolts in here. Okay, the cool thing is you'll never lose your bolts because they're in there, they won't come out. So we can get to our cartridge. We've got 2 bolts, one on each side that we've got to undo. All right, so taking off the bolts, put them in my cover here. So this is the gap where the gear drive comes out. And the cool thing about the system is it just slides in, slides out, and I don't have to be touching all the belts or doing anything with that. I leave that alone totally. So that's beautiful. That's what really sets this mower apart. So out it comes, get the new cartridge in with the cartridge, and it slides, easy as that. Cool. Now here's an improvement I'd really like to see. This is probably my main gripe about this mower. This cover covers this area here. And it'd be so handy, rather than having to undo 4 bolts every time you want to change a cartridge, considering you're not having to touch the belts at all, that if that's the only bit that we need to get in, if we could just flip that open and pop it in there, it would make it so much quicker. That would be a real classy upgrade, I reckon. Just to have some sort of flap or cover so you could get to that bit and then just change the cartridge out, undoing 4 bolts every time. But it is what it is. It didn't take too long. Everybody's laughing at me. And maybe there's a reason why it's that way, I don't know. Cool. What it's picking out, see how it's brown? It's picking out the thatch, but leaving the green alone. Fantastic for thinning it out. Get a close up of that. Half the area of what I did before, and I've probably already got double the material. So once again, it's mostly brown stuff. Beautiful. Well, that does a surprisingly nice job of getting that thatch out. Sort of like a cut between a cross between a groomer and a verticutter. It just sits nicely in between, so that's a fantastic addition. Well, what I'd do after that again is I'd mow it again with the 12 blade, but I'm going to let Lee do that. This is my mate Lee's house, so I think he's pretty keen to have a go. Get your lawn on.
The Allett Kensington range is a great domestic mower suitable for the people that are getting into cylinder mowing for the first time. It's perfect for those transitioning from a rotary mower with 50 to 200 square metres of couch, rye or zoysia. And you can look forward to a series that I'm doing in the not too distant future about transitioning from a rotary to a cylinder mower using the Allett system. The cartridges make this mower certainly versatile. It had a much better build quality which reflected in the performance and performed better than any other cartridge system I've used previously. Build quality is good and the finish is excellent. This is a mower that sits around about 50 kilos. I absolutely love how the cartridge changes. What you have to really worry about is lining up that gear. It was a little bit of a letdown and a bit finicky putting the bolts back in. Sometimes I didn't quite line them up. And seeing as you don't really have to touch the belts or anything, I felt it was just a real letdown that you had to play with the whole cover when all you really need is to get into that little window with the gear. Really, it's only a small gripe. It's just that, undoing and redoing 4 bolts each time that you want to change a cartridge is a little bit annoying. This mower was a pleasure to use. It was very, very easy to use, very, very easy to manoeuvre. I had no problems at all keeping a line. It sat very well on the grass. The finish of cut is just superb. I haven't used this mower on kikuyu or buffalo, those are thicker type grasses, and I'll have to do something about that in future videos. But I think this is really, really suited to the couch and the finer grasses for sure. The hero of the day here is the solid rear split roller. It's fantastic. It will give you a strong stripe game, fantastic feel and control, ensuring straight and controlled lines. These are really keenly priced, and compared to other mowers that are of the similar vein with the cartridges, it's about $1,000 cheaper, and certainly the build quality is there, and look, it is just a fantastic mower. These mowers are distributed in Australia by ADE Turf. Go to www.adeturf.com.au to make your inquiry.